So good morning, everyone. Everyone that's here in person, anyone that's viewing from a distance, welcome to our Sunday meditation here at Dawn Mountain. So I'm Sharon Jackson. I'm a longtime student, and that's how we approach these Sunday meditations. Those of us that have been coming and doing this practice for a while lead it. We take turns leading it on Sundays. And the practice itself that we're going to do this morning is a practice that was given to us by our teacher, Adzam Rinpoche, who is pictured here. And this throne was built for him. And we're very hopeful that he will return. He hasn't been here in a number of years. But when asked what we could do on Sundays as a community, he gave us the practice that we're going to do today. So it's an opportunity to work with settling the mind and opening the heart using just some classic sitting technique, where you really get in tune to your breathing, and I'll lead that. And then what's really unique about this is that we're going to go back and forth between that silent sitting and chanting the sacred syllable Hum. And Hum represents primordial wisdom or natural awareness, what all of us have within us, but it gets covered up. So it's an opportunity to get in touch with it and let it take form as sound and let your being just merge with the sound, which in itself then brings you into presence and has a very powerful effect on your ability to relax and be present. So it gives you two modes of doing that, the silent sitting, being with the breath, and then the chanting. And we'll do 3 rounds, so you'll get a little taste of both. So first, thank you. And this is a book of names that we're going to read at the end of practice of anyone who we want to particularly bring to mind this morning and dedicate to. Anyone who may be suffering, who may have recently passed, who may be ill. So if you haven't had a chance to put names in it, we can just leave it there and then people can. And there will also be a break, and that'll be an opportunity to put names in as well. So I think as far as posture, the important thing or the primary thing is that you want your spine to be as straight as is naturally possible. So not in a forced way, but in a purposeful way. So however works for you to accomplish that. So if you're on a cushion, you'll want your legs relaxed down and your torso kind of up out of your waist. You want your waist out of your hip, whatever that yoga. I know what it feels like. I'm not good at describing it, but where you sort of lift up instead of letting yourself collapse down, but not, and then you kind of roll your shoulders back and down and then let everything open and relax and your legs are relaxed down. But you have some intention about this torso piece of things. Allowing your skeleton, as Anne says, to naturally hold you. And you can also kind of think of a balloon, a helium balloon attached to the top of your head, stretching it towards the ceiling. Because you want, again, that will kind of elongate you. And then you tuck your chin slightly, which lengthens your neck. So again, you get it set up, but then you relax, but with intention, so that your energy can flow through your body as freely as possible. So wherever you feel tension, release. Including now, beginning with our energy, let that relax. If you have buzzing in your head, let it dissipate. If you're holding in your body, physical holding, mental holding, emotional holding, let it relax. Let your thoughts begin to settle out. Let your mind relax. And begin to notice your breath and how it feels to breathe. How the breath feels as it flows through your body, as it enters, as it flows through, as it exits your body. The inhalation, the pause, the exhalation. So rest your attention on the breath. And maybe at first you take some deep breaths to expel whatever needs to be expelled and to get in touch with your breathing. But eventually you just want your breathing to be normal, comfortable, relaxed, but to be aware of it, to become one with it. Thoughts will arise. That's natural. We're not trying to stop thinking. But what we don't want to do is follow after those thoughts. We don't want to make stories out of them. We don't want to follow them. We just want them to dissolve back where they came from, like waves in an ocean. A wave will arise, but then if left alone, it will dissipate and return back to the ocean. So we're like the ocean. And we'll do this for a few minutes before we begin our chanting. And your gaze can be such that your eyes are cracked open slightly, or as much as you're comfortable with, gazing down the bridge of your nose. A soft gaze. You're not looking, you're just allowing your gaze to be gentle and soft. This helps us get familiar with this sense of awareness and mindfulness as we take it off the cushion when we have to have our eyes open. It's also energetically helpful, but not necessary. So if you're new to meditation and are more comfortable with your eyes shut, feel free to keep them shut. Just experience yourself breathing naturally. And as I mentioned, when thoughts arise, no judging. Everyone in this room is having thoughts arise. We just let them dissipate with no judging, even with a bit of a sense of humor. And now we'll chant Hong at our own pace. In general, you can do 2 per breath, but don't get caught up in that. Everyone is going to do this at their own pace, and everyone will do it with their own sound. And if it's very new to you and you're uncomfortable, you can just rest in the energy of the room until you're comfortable chanting with us. Again, we're allowing ourselves to merge with our own inner wisdom and allowing it to manifest as sound. Gently rest your attention on the breath. Experiencing your body breathing. Allowing your body to be nourished through the process of breathing. When thoughts arise, allow them to naturally dissipate. Be gentle and kind with yourself. Relax and breathe. So before we take our break, I want to say a few words about what we're doing here this morning. And, what it can mean to us when it shows up in our life. Because, when we come here and do the practice that we're doing, it's something that we want to be able to take with us when we leave, when we get up off the cushion. We want it to show up in our life. We don't want to just come here and hopefully have a peaceful, spacious, comfortable time together, even though that's quite lovely and very, very powerful. But we want to be able to take what we're experiencing and practicing and learning into our lives. And so I just want to talk about my personal experience recently along these lines, because I've been going through quite a rough patch. Mostly involving loss. I've had a number of people die in my life in the last 6 weeks. I've kind of lost track. Yesterday, Harvey mentioned singing Amazing Grace. I forget what the context was, but it made me realize that I've sang Amazing Grace a lot in the last 6 weeks, which I love Amazing Grace. But, singing it at funerals is not, well, actually, it's very moving to sing it at funerals, but it reminded me of when I was a little girl and sang it in church. But that's not what I'm trying to talk about. So let me try to stay on track. So these deaths that I've experienced. So one was a client, but a really, really close client. My first client, a client that I've done work with for 36 years. And he and I had this mutual love and respect for each other. He was 65. He rode his horse that morning. He slipped in the shower and passed away. So it's just been kind of stunning, some of this, And then my friend's father, a very close friend's father, passed away. He was in his 60s. Then a very close friend of mine in his 60s. I went to funerals for 3 weeks in a row. But meanwhile, I turned 60 during all of this, and I had planned this fantastic road trip to really pamper myself with my girlfriend. And we went to all these magical places along the California coast, road trip. It was centered around seeing this poet that I love. He's actually a philosopher poet. If you guys aren't familiar with him, I sometimes share some of his work a little bit in here. But his name is David White. He's amazing. The name of the conference was Living Half a Shade Braver. So his work is all about, showing up, and how do we show up, and how do we be our most authentic self, and how do we even contemplate what that is? What is it that brings us alive and animates us and gives meaning and purpose and all those things to our life? So it was quite fantastic. It was in Asilomar, I think I mispronounced it, but it's on the Monterey Peninsula. And while I was there, I went to the beach during one of the breaks. And then I went back later. And then that afternoon, when David White started to speak, he said, I have some really bad news. 2 people were swept into the ocean, actually 3. One of them survived, 2 perished. And it was just like, and then on my way back from that, or on my way to my next magical place in California, my friend who's traveling with me learns that her mother has been diagnosed with this really nasty cancer and was being put into hospice, and she needed to return. So she flew home to Chicago and I flew home to Houston. So I was just getting battered with this. And then in the meantime, my Aunt Ruby, who was 90, passed away. Aunt Ruby lived a good long life and was 90. So, that's just sad, the loss. But the rest of that was very, and not to diminish the loss of Aunt Ruby, and particularly to her children and family, and myself included, because she's the last of my father's people. But what kept me able to be there for all of these people in my life and to be there for myself was this practice. The practice of being your truest self, your genuine self, your self that is just aware wisdom. Because that spaciousness that you feel, when we do this kind of practice or whatever it is that works for you to allow yourself to become more spacious, where there's room to hold suffering and love and stability and laughter, humor. Humor is so important when shit's happening. Sorry. Okay. I have to speak freely or it doesn't feel natural, and I have a real potty mouth, so excuse me. I'm really trying to keep it. But I was definitely taken off balance, and including beginning to kind of feel sorry for myself that, enough already. And when can it be about me? This was my big birthday and my trip, and which makes no sense, I realize, but it does actually. But this is what I had to work with, exactly how I'm sharing it with you now. I had to sit and work with it, and acknowledge and allow the pain to be there and the suffering that I was feeling for myself and for the people that I love. But at the same time, not letting it collapse down into that's all I am, or that's all I'm feeling, or that's all there is. Because absolutely not. There's the whole world, and we are infinite. And we have enough heart and mind to hold the suffering and to still feel the peace and the love for ourselves and for others, and to be able to have that sense of equanimity, that balance. So acknowledging the suffering, but not getting caught in it, not getting stuck in it, allowing it to flow through, recognizing that you're something so much more than that all of us are, and that all of us suffer. All of us suffer. And, I think particularly given all that's going on in the world today, in our country today, and that's also, got everybody off balance. And so I think that was part of my thing too, is like, whoa, where is center? And if I didn't have my practice, I would have had a lot of difficulty. I did have a lot of difficulty despite my practice. But because of my practice, I was able to find my center. But I had to keep doing it. I had to keep coming back to it. So this is a gift that we can give ourselves that will see us through anything and everything, that can be our friend. And it's something that's with us no matter where we are, no matter what is going on. We can come back to our spacious self and allow ourselves to get big enough to hold it all. The suffering, the joy, the fun, all of it. So on that, we'll have some joy and some refreshments and take a little break, and then we'll come back and dedicate. Thank you all for being here. So this next short little practice that we're going to do, we do it on Sunday mornings as a dedication. So we feel that our gathering here, like we have this morning, and, working with our emotions, our minds, our thoughts, our hearts, is powerful, and that it creates blessing energy. And we have an opportunity to not only benefit ourselves from this blessing energy, but to offer it. So we use this little practice that we're going to do to offer it. So how it works is we recite ah 3 distinct times. So unlike the home when we were just sort of doing it, this time we're going to do an ah, and we will allow ourselves to transform into white light, clear white light. Our bodies, we become white light. And then the second ah, we as a group send this blessing, healing energy out throughout the universe. Well, second ah, we'll send it to each other. Third ah, to the universe. So that second ah, it gives us a chance to sort of collectively empower that blessing energy, because we're going to be sending it to each other. So when we recite the second ah, you can imagine that not only are you sending out love, compassion, energy, healing, but you're receiving it from everyone in the room. And then the third time, we will, as a group, send it out to all beings. So we'll sit for just a moment and settle. Thanks. And let the ah, when you sound them, sound as long as is comfortable for you. You don't need to take my lead on that. You just let your ah sound as long as is comfortable. And I will wait. Because really, we don't want to rush through them anyway. We want them to have their effect. So the first one, we allow ourselves to transform in to white light, healing energy. And now we send that white light, healing, blessing, energy, love, compassion to one another in the room. And now we send it out to all beings throughout the world, throughout the universe. So we're going to also recite the dedication that's on the handout, that starts by this good, but I will read the names first. Even though that may be out of order, it'll be kind of like I've been all day. Buddy and family, Marie, Jasson, Lisa Jasson and family, Rusty, Judy, Ed's family, LaRonda, Aunt Ruby and family. Anyone negatively affected by Super Bowl? Dominica, Melissa, Julie, Ira, Jim, Luke, Tara Phillips and her baby, Michael Anthony, Priscilla Dubois, Danny W., Donald T., Jeanette H., Diana's mom, Vina, Leslie and Bardo, Moshley Waite, Anna Silva, Giselle Pratt, Leonardo Pratt, Farron Pratt, Susanna, Ulrich, Andrea, Alma, Adam, Animals, A Healed Heart, Camacho, Jessica, Gary, Claire, Mike, Christopher, Tiz, Ann and family, Beata, George, Helen, Eleanor Day, Sarah and Alexander, Stuart, Charlie Wynn, Edith, Flower, Bardo and Sally, Jane Smith, Hart, Lori Lango, Carolyn's father, Bardo, Buddy, Sharon, LaRonda and her nephew, Gloria and Margarita coming out of retreat, Claire, Warren, my mother, Salima, my sons, Raza and Kareem, and all sentient beings throughout time and space. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. So thank you all so much for coming. It's truly wonderful to see so many new faces and to see all of the community here. It's very heartwarming for me. A few announcements. We're currently in our winter series as far as our Teaching Tuesdays. Teaching Tuesdays are the opportunity to get teachings from Ann and Harvey, who are our guiding teachers, our resident lamas here at Dawn Mountain. So that happens on the first and third Tuesdays from 7 to 9, and that's an ongoing situation. The teachings are always being offered. We do series throughout the year, and right now we're in the winter series, but each class is always designed to be standalone. So don't get concerned if you've missed part of the series. You can still come. They're also broadcasts, so if you miss one and you're doing the series, you can catch up that way. But again, there's really no need to catch up if you want to just come and enjoy a class. So the current series is titled Wisdom Through Love and Compassion. So quite wonderful, as always, Ann and Harvey teaching it. We have a retreat coming up. So this will be kind of ending the old year and welcoming the new year as it relates to the Tibetan calendar. So the year of the rooster, fire rooster, is about to begin in February, later in the month. So I guess it culminates on the 27th. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. But we're going to celebrate on the 25th, 6th, Sunday, the 26th. So after our meditation, like we've done this morning, we'll celebrate the new year together. We'll have a potluck where you can bring ready to eat food, ready to serve food. But mostly it's about doing some fun rituals. Some of them are fun and some of them are just kind of powerful. You know, where we sort of cleanse ourselves with this multicolored yarn to get rid of the negativity from the previous year. We pull fortunes that Anne creates for us. It's really a sweet, sweet, sweet community activity event that we do every year. So that'll be on Sunday, February 26th. But that weekend, so Friday evening and Saturday, we're doing a retreat titled Appreciation and Gratitude, Gateway to Spirituality, which I think it kind of goes without saying, maybe. If you're taking the time, energy, space to really be appreciative and grateful, that can definitely be a gateway to spirituality. So Ann and Harvey will be teaching it, and Simone, who does the children's program and other programs, is also going to be offering during that weekend. So it'll be very sweet and very wonderful, and a wonderful way to start off the Tibetan New Year and to kind of clean out some of this and start fresh. So there are flyers for all of these things that I'm mentioning now out front. All of it is always on our website, on our Facebook page. Please go there, like us. Claire is about to start the new Mindfulness for Everyone, and Renee Ford is going to be participating this time in presenting that. Claire is fantastic. She's a scholar. She's a longtime practitioner. She's an amazing, beautiful being. And for many in our community, she has been the introduction to meditation and to our programs. And so when she offers these classes, it's really quite wonderful. So this is online only this time. Okay, so if people that are watching but are local and want to come for Claire's class, they can do so, but it is going to be offered via Google Hangout. So she'll be in front of her computer, but it'll still be something sweet to do. But the fact that you can do it from your home and it'll be recorded so that a person can do it whenever their schedule allows. So an amazing opportunity. That starts February 27th. So it's on Mondays, February 27th through April 3rd, 2 to 3. But again, you can do it at your leisure. So this is Mindfulness for Everyone with Claire and Renee. And then maybe Mary Scott would like to see if I've left anything important out.
Well, we are right in the middle of Dawn Mountain's. First of all, hello, everybody. I'm Mary Scott.
Our extraordinary executive director, Mary Scott.
I am so happy to see all of you here, many for the first time. We're having an online auction. We have a big new program launching in May, Dzogchen Cycles. There's a brochure about that for people who want to get all the way into Tibetan Buddhism over the next 3 years. And Ann and Harvey have been dreaming of this program and planning it for decades, really. And so excited that it is actually coming to fruition at last. What that means is that coming in May, we're going to have a lot more bodies in this room, and we're going to need more cushions and more chairs. So we are holding an online auction to raise money to purchase these items, and there are many things that might pique your interest online, and they're in all price ranges: sacred items, jewelry, art, all kinds of things. And we're adding new things every Monday, which means tomorrow there will be a whole new group. So please check often and bid and join in the fun. The auction will end on Sunday, February 26th at the same time as our Losar celebration. So it's all going to culminate in one big joyous event for Dawn Mountain, but we hope we'll check it out. The link is on our website on one of the slides at the homepage. You can also get there from Facebook or Bidding for Good and look for Dawn Mountain. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And one of those items for auction is Reiki sessions with Claire, which I have had and are amazing. So you might want to bid on that item. Yes, so I'm glad I forgot about the auction. I'm already bidding, so I encourage everybody to do so. Obviously, it's for a great cause, but there's some lovely things there as well. And, we invite your participation. We want you to come. That's the most important thing, is for you to participate by coming to our programs. But we also do appreciate donations. We appreciate memberships. If you want to become a member, you can talk to myself, Mary Scott, Claire, Gary. A lot of us could talk to you about becoming a member, which helps support our organization. But we also have donation bowls throughout the space if you would like to drop a little something in there. But mostly, we're just glad that you came and hope that you will come again and again. Thank you.